seeking to heal from writing. So hello and welcome. This is Erica Glessing. I'm so glad to have you all here with me today. This is an open call, so we will be interacting if you like. You can self-mute. Thank you for those of you who've done that, but if you're going to speak, then just remember to unmute. And I'm very joyful to have a couple of the callers took a writing class with me recently with myself and Monica. And we're setting the intention today of actually clearing something, actually doing some clearing of something that's stopping the writing from flowing for you. So you can bring your questions. You can question in the group chat, although I'm not great at keeping an eye on it. So if you do have a question that I don't hear, and you can turn on your video and just wave at me. So Marie, do you mind starting with like maybe an intention for you for today?
Mm-hmm.
Or a question?
Yes, question. No intention, because I don't remember in which month we had that call together with Monica. I knew it was great, but I believe that since the end of the call, I forgot everything about my writing activity.
Okay.
So,
What's your question? Do you have a question?
It's just an intention, just to put that again in my life and not to continue to avoid that topic anymore.
Awesome. Jonda, would you mind sharing a question or an intention for today?
Hi. Probably mine is, well, first of all, the original calls were fabulous with great clearings. I've written down all these prompts. I've started writing. And I think the biggest challenge I have is getting into the zone of doing it, of, you know,
like a practice.
Right. How do you set the space for that? Do you wait until the energy arrives? Do you create a space? Do you go on vacation and have no other distractions?
Right.
You know, what is really some keys to doing that?
Okay.
To be motivated to do that.
Got it.
I'm going to mute myself.
Okay, thank you. Oh, hi, Kate Summers. How beautiful. Do you have a question or something that you'd like to ask of the class of the call today? And you can type it in, that's fine. Okay, welcome. Kate wrote a beautiful chapter in a book that's coming out soon. And she's been in my heart lately. She lost her husband recently, and she's been in my heart a lot. So Becky, that looks like Becky Henderson. Do you have a question or something you'd like the call to do or be for you today?
No, I don't really have a question. I'm just trying to get back into the flow of writing. I've got my book, I think, halfway done. I'm not quite sure.
Nice.
But I just thought this might get me going again. I haven't wrote in this book all year, and I wanted to get it finished by the end of the year, so I need to get my butt going.
So you wrote a lot of it in 2016?
Yeah, I was writing a paragraph in another book and about it, just as
a blurb. Yeah.
And along with it, I was writing my big book, so I got it halfway done while I was writing the chapter. But ever since I put the chapter in and it's been released and published, I stopped writing in the big book. So I thought maybe that would get me thinking about it again.
Right.
And I also wrote in a paragraph in yours, the animal messages.
Oh, good. Okay, cool. That should be coming out this summer.
Yeah, I've been waiting.
Awesome. And then Jessica, did you have any questions or anything you'd like to bring up? I know you're here because I asked you to be.
No, I'm just here to listen. I'm really excited to hear what everyone has to say. And yeah, I'm just here to listen.
Cool. Jessica helps me with my, she's one of my virtual helpers. So Awesome. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and get started. And again, the call is being recorded, so I will share this with people who are looking to really shift writing in their lives. And one of the things that showed up for me, and I think it was maybe hearing Becky's question, was the concept of the visioning. And Jonda, I saw this for you too. So if you have a project that would like to be in hands, and I'll show this one. It's kind of interesting. This is called The Dreams of Maddie Fitch. And this author wrote this over a period of 6 years. And then it took her, I want to think, years before it got to hands. One of the things that when you haven't had a lot of books come out, you're not sure what that might require of you. You're not sure if it's going to work for you. Do you know what I mean? It's like this, and Marie, for you, I see the same thing. Well, what's the carrot if I do get writing going in my life? What do I get? And I don't mean what do I get like, purely financial, but what do I get? What are the things that I get? So one of the things that can help you is to start looking at some of the awesome possibles that could show up. And I hate to say this, but you actually kind of have to, each of you, create that in your own world. Like for instance, let's just pretend I live in New York City, and now let's pretend I live in, Sacramento, California. I don't know if any of you know Sacramento, California. Sacramento, California has almost no public transportation. It's got lots of acres of stuff still, like, tomato fields and rice fields and a lot of agriculture. And to get from one place in Sacramento to, say, a city, two cities over, you pretty much have to have a vehicle. Does that make sense? Now, if you live in New York City and you want to go to have coffee, you pretty much do a lot better if you don't have a vehicle. You're going to have a better experience if you just pop out and find coffee, or if you get on the subway, or if you take a walk a few blocks and find coffee. So, but maybe in Sacramento where you live, you can't even get really nice, yummy coffee without a vehicle. So if you say, I need a car, it's very different things, like from one coast to the other coast. So a book, that's just showed up for me, like, what could a book be for me? So if you'd like to sit down, you can do it now, or you can do it when you feel like it. Write down a few things that having a writing practice could give you. Like, what could it generate for you? Oh, so I'm sensing blocks in the throat or communications area. So when you stand up bigger and you say who you are louder, could that bring you more things? And get the energy of more things coming out of waking up the writing practice, having a daily journaling commitment. I want to see it, like, I'm just going to show this, see if it shows up on my video. I can't see it, so I can't tell. Let's see. That's so funny. Well, anyways, we'll just pretend I know what I'm showing. So when you do wake up your journal and you start practicing it, let's come up with, for yourself, maybe 2 possible outcomes that would be like flipping off the charts. So, Becky, do you feel like being brave and just saying, okay, what's possible once your whole book is done?
Yes, and I got that from you. Every time I manifest, and that I always ask the universe, what else is possible today? What is possible today? And I'm referring to that, to my book and a lot of things. But yeah, I got that from you, and it's been working. A lot of things have been coming to me, like this class, But yeah, that's what I want. I ask for more trainings and more of this, but the saying is, you always wait till, oh, I can do one more training, then I'll do my book. I'll do one more of this, then I'll do my book. And I want to get out of that mode. I want to just do my book, and just finish it.
I think standing up as being, what I really got is funny because, and the what else is possible, I want to credit Access Consciousness with that question, but I love that you got it from me.
Yep, I did.
That's awesome. So what else is possible when your writing is flowing? And what I guess you have to be quiet. I do that to animals. They get really excited around me. I have to tell you that. That's one of my gifts on the planet is animals really enjoy my energy. So let's go ahead and just for a moment, put your feet firmly on the ground. And then we're just going to do a little kind of a guided meditation-ish experience together. So just go ahead and put your feet firmly on the ground and let earth energy come up through the bottoms of your feet. You can. And earth energy I typically see as blue. So I just invite blue energy up through it's like the balls of my feet. And then the heels of my feet, and then if you can, the little part in the middle that doesn't always touch the ground, and pull earth energy up through the bottom of your feet. Pull earth energy up, all the way up through your whole body, all the way up through your whole body, through your butt, your stomach, your chest area, your throat. Oh, the blue energy loves your throat. Go up through the top of your third eye, and then out the top of your head. And now go ahead and pull golden light, golden melting yummy energy, like a golden, I'm seeing like a golden blanket or a golden something wrap to come down from celestial energy, from the ceiling, from the universe, from all over the planets, from the galaxies. Pull energy through all of that, all around you. There you go, through your head, throat, shoulders, through your heart. Third chakra is your solar plexus, down through your base of your butt area, and then golden energy all the way down through the bottom, down into the earth. And one more time, bring earth energy up through the bottoms of your feet, all the way up through your body, earth energy up through your whole body and up to the top, just quick. And then quick pull celestial, yummy golden energy up from celestial down through the top of your head, third eye, clearing out any places, clearing out any blocks. Just ask the blocks to be gone. Just say, hey, you know what? Thank you so much for all the things you've done for me. Thank you, blocks, for keeping me safe. Thank you for keeping me tied into my past. Thank you, blocks. Whatever the blocks have done to keep your awareness from being you, fully you, fully you, fully you, just allow all of that to leave. Thank you, goodbye, thank you, goodbye. I just kind of wish the blocks to leave. You don't even have to, in this practice, know exactly what they are. You don't have to go into when I was 2, someone hit my hand when I had a crayon in it because I wrecked the wall. You don't even have to remember all that. You can just say, hey, any blocks that are stopping this writing from coming and being a big resource in my life, just be gone. Thank you. Whew, that was nice.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. We think we require knowing everything we have to heal, and that's not actually true. We don't have to. Also, I'm just going to go in. I'm getting a lot of why questions in my mind's eye. So I don't know if that's you or a future listener of this class. But why is almost always a mind F. It almost always does not generate creative writing, beauty, your spirit. It's why typically gets us into a feeling less than or experiencing others being better than us. So right now, just kind of any time you hear yourself ask, why can't I write more? Why can't I write better? Why can't I have a best-selling book already? Why can't I sit down every day and have my writing practice? Do you see what kind of judgment is in that why question?
Yes.
Yeah. Why am I not further along? That's one that really is completely non-generative energetically.
It's very non-productive.
Exactly. And I have to say, like with writing, one little non-productive self-critical thought, and we're flipping in that. Like we'll use anything not to write.
Yep.
Anything that we can like
Yep.
pick up and just say, that's an excuse, I don't need to write today because
Yep. I got to clean my toilets today.
Exactly. Nice. So just when you feel, when the word why comes up, replace it with what's something I could write today that would contribute to someone. Thank you, Becky, for being on that. Jonda, did you get a hit from that? Are you with us?
I'm here trying to figure out how to unmute.
I know it doesn't always go fast. I've had the same thing happen, especially when I was with Monica trying to co-teach. And she'd say something, and I'd be looking for my unmute button. It'd be like minutes, and she'd be like, "I guess she doesn't want to talk." I'd be like, "I'm trying." What does it bring up for you when I kind of mentioned the little pieces of thought that come across our heads and basically cut off our energy to write?
Well, I was writing down some of your I was starting to write down your suggestions to replace write with, to replace why with other thoughts, know. So what were some of those? What are some other things that we can, when we feel ourselves saying the why, what do we replace that with?
Like, what would happen if I got on Twitter and I wrote 15 kind messages to people who follow me?
Okay.
That would be, could writing then change the world a teens?
Yes.
Exactly. So one question instead of, anytime you can, here's yourself, you're driving on a path, and every inch of the path, there's another path you could go off on.
Yes.
True? Always.
Always.
So if you're asking for writing to contribute more greatly to you just being you in a bigger way, showing up in a bigger way, allow those little, they're going to start off as little impulses that may not be fully fledged. And that's when it's hard to acknowledge them, right?
Yes.
So if I get a book in my head that's like my whole book shows up in my head, like my happiness quotation series, that's very compelling and that's worth sitting down to. But in the beginning, 10 years ago, it was just, I'd really like to write a book, or I'd really like to write something, and I didn't have anything published. I mean, I had articles, but not like books or something, I felt meaningful.
Yeah.
So if you even use writing to further yourself by sending kind notes to people, that's an amazing thing, that a kind note can really shift someone's day. And then we all know that there's very few degrees of separation between all of us. So let's say one of you wrote me a kind note about something. Anna listened to one of my calls from the earlier calls we did, this Anna Searle. She wrote me this kindest note ever. It really rocked my world to hear that it had changed. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So as you can use your writing to acknowledge others. You can use your writing to think something provocative out loud. Like, you could ask on social media, what can I replace with why? That would be a more contributive question.
Yeah.
See what people write down. And then you're waking up others as you wake up yourself. Do you see?
Mm-hmm.
The other thing that I like to do is I like to sit with like my hand kind of relaxed. And then I like to have like a question show up in my head about the pattern, right?
Okay.
I might ask a question and then let the words just come in as a response and then trigger some connectivity to my heart, to the bigger consciousness on the planet. We're
Okay.
all connected to everything. That no one knows anything that really is secret. Like everybody can access all of the consciousness of the entire planet. There's nothing secret. Like even as one person evolves, this helps everyone else evolve, right?
Right.
Whew. Shonda, if you could, I'm going to put you in a weird spot. If you were looking at your life, like your timeline, what's something that you feel you've contributed in your timeline?
Kindness comes up first.
I know, right?
I know that I help people clear themselves just by
Ooh.
being me.
Oh, cool.
That's one of my superpowers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The hit that I got as you were talking was that something you can do before you write is to fill up with some self superpower acknowledging.
Mm-hmm.
And Marie, this is not going to be easy for some people. Really, almost everyone's trained at birth. Very few cultures are trained differently than this, to be keep oneself small, put everyone else up, don't be selfish, don't talk about yourself, some of the Asian cultures, when I studied Chinese, it was phenomenal learning about the family house of how you're supposed to be in a family, and the house, how you're supposed to be in a family in the Catholic Church, and the house in the Jewish traditions, and the house in the Russian traditions, right? And so there's all these rules, and we give them to our kids, we get them, and they're actually embedded in our cellular memories. And this can go back generations after generations after generations. I was working with someone, and I asked him how many lifetimes of poverty, truth. And he saw, in his mind's eye, he saw 10,000 lifetimes of poverty.
Wow.
And I was like, okay. So you're asking yourselves to change that. Now, will it be easy?
Mm-hmm.
Imagine if you've driven the same road 10,000 times, and you've taken someone somewhere 10,000 times, and you've gone the same road every time. And you wake up one day and you just want to go to the beach. But it's almost weird because you drive your kid to school that way. Do you see what I'm saying? And now you want to drive to the beach. And you've driven 10,000 times a different way. And everything's set up to say you cannot possibly make it to the beach. Right?
Yeah.
So when you're changing, that, I got it. Everybody went there. Thank you, everyone. When you're changing, it's not going to be the same. It's going to be kind of, right? Oh my goodness. Thank you, guys. Oh, Jonda, I really got a lot out of that energetically.
Me too.
That was wild. So when you're writing and you haven't written, and let's just, Kate, do you feel like sharing like something you're kind of would like to write about? Or
I was trying to figure out how to unmute it. I've had similar to what you were saying where you get impulses. I've been thinking that when you follow the path of inspiration or you just have an impulse, sometimes it feels like you're taking off from writing or you're not confronting it, but actually it's leading you into ideas, or it's generating a feeling you'll get where you'll be real inspired when you get home, or
Yeah.
like lying on the beach or taking a walk, or you might see something that gives you an idea. And so it actually is moving towards a movement.
And why don't you share people like what gave you the idea for your book, Danny the Dolphin?
Danny and the Dolphin, actually my husband and I were eating raw foods, and for summer we were staying in Ashland, Oregon. And I was eating just like a lot of fruit and just a lot of fresh live foods. And it just kind of came to me like in parts. And part of it came to me and I read it to my husband, and then he goes, "Now what?" And I said, "I don't know. I don't know what happens." And then about a week later, the rest of it came. So it was like a 3-week thing. And I was so excited to see how it ended. But when I look back at it, it's kind of just my life journey and bits and pieces of my experiences. And Danny's a boy, but it had a lot, basically my book is about meditation and going within and finding your answers, just knowing you have a knowing. So tapping into that.
Yeah. Oh, that's so awesome.
Yeah, it was fun.
It's
kind of like, I feel like it kind of came through me. It didn't, just showed up.
It's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. I just kind of wanted to bring up this sense of like, where can writing take me? So one of the things you can do is to start having a journal more accessible, and then drop the barriers of needing to write correctly. Drop the barriers of needing to spell exactly correctly on the first rev. Drop the barriers of complete sentences. So one thing you can do when you're first writing, you can stream partial phrases like swimming with the dolphins or eating fresh fruit for a whole summer. As you begin to, the odd thing is I looked out in my yard and I just saw one of my plums on my trees looks like it's getting ripe. So that was cool. That was a little sanctioning of what we're sharing together today. Allow yourself to be inspired more often throughout the day. Seek inspiration, like seek an inspirational place or seek an inspirational experience. I did this one thing once. It was really interesting. I pretended I got a phone call. One time when I was in college, I got a phone call. One of my poems was going to be published. And I did like 6 cartwheels in the parking lot. Like I seriously like ran out in the parking lot. And I did like, I can't do that anymore exactly. I did all these cartwheels. I was about 17. So one of the things you can do for a writing prompt, this is really funny, is to pretend you got some really amazing news and just write about what shows up for you physically once you start tuning into that news. And you can be completely, this isn't a word, but fabricational. You can like fabricate the whole thing. You could just fabricate a call, fabricate the news, and then have a true in-body, maybe some of you are going to go to a class somewhere in the world that you've never been this year. You can actually just picture yourself having the plane ticket in your hand and you're stepping off the plane and you've never been to Rome or wherever the country is that you're going to for the first time. And you're walking into, a pizza parlor or something, and just make it up. Just completely make it up. And if you want, Google some pictures of things. One of the things that gets me going a lot is powerful images. And when I wrote this book, I actually looked at the it's funny, I can't see myself, so I have no idea. Like, let's see if I can find myself. There we go. So what I would do is I would actually look at this picture. I'd already chosen the photographer and the images, and I put, where can the spark of joy wake up today in your world? Where can the spark of joy today wake up today in your world? And that's what this image did for me. It just gave me that spark of joy. So I was like, where could that wake up? And I did it by looking at the image. And then I just wrote from the place of tuning into that image, and what could people get inspired from if I wrote it? Because I'm always looking to like inspire people. Like that's one of my things I love to do. So I ask my writing to be inspirational. So I actually give it that consciousness. I ask it to stir up consciousness in people, in others, and to bridge things. So, Marie, I'm going to ask you again, just for the fun of it. Is there anything that you could write that would, what do you like to read?
I used to read a lot of novels when I was younger, and I stopped reading a few months or maybe 2 years ago. I stopped reading.
Do you like reading cards? Like cards? Like
What kind of cards?
like greeting cards?
Yes.
I got that you could actually create cards. So what if your job was to have like, this would be really fun, you guys. You can all have this as a prompt if you want it. So take like a piece of paper and then picture an occasion, and then open it up and then write something to that occasion. Could you do that, do you think?
For a birthday or some special occasion, I prepare myself the card for example, last week it was for the Mother's Day. I printed a picture and I wrote something for my mother.
Okay. So that's a contribution that writing can be in your world. True?
But in this case, it's just a personal, I know the person and it's just a personal message. And I was listening to you and I perceive that I am stopping myself from writing because I don't want to have an impact on others.
Okay.
Because you mentioned the fact that if you tweet something interesting, you can change the day of people. But to imagine that by reading my writing, I don't know, cards or books, I will change the day of others. It's something that is very, I'm afraid.
So one of the themes that I hear you're asking below what you're asking is, the question I'm getting is, what if I'm not enough? What if others could be better than me at this job of changing the world? Right? What if someone else was better at it than me? Shouldn't I just let them write?
Yes.
Right? Cool. The only thing is, you're in a body right now, and there's a lot of entities that aren't. True?
Yes.
So you're in a unique position that you can write now. You can write and change the world for people.
Yes.
I'm just still seeing some, one of the things that I've had to clear myself is just what I got was past lifetimes of witch energy, where being a magical person and being able to change the molecules of the environment around me meant I should probably be killed. So any lifetimes where you've been too magic and that's stopping you now from being in creation, would you like to let that go?
Yes.
Yeah. Does that relate at all to being magical?
I for the moment I choose to stop any creation, and I think that there is something making me unconscious about that, because your question, I can't answer your question.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm just curious, if you wrote to one person and later maybe chose to share it with more, would that change anything?
Maybe.
I love it. That's awesome, Marie. You're almost always writing to one person. Almost always all good, really awesome writing is not to the planet in generic form, but it's almost always writing to one person. So actually one of the things that's sort of like a writing class staple is to kind of picture the person that you're writing to and actually write to them. I wonder if that would be more fun for you if you could pretend you're writing to just one person.
Yes, even if a person I don't really know, just imagine someone or someone I
That doesn't seem to be that light. What if you could write to someone that that you're very grateful for what they've done to contribute to your life? Would that be fun?
Yes.
So just pick someone who's maybe taught you something in the last 3 years or 4 years, and or maybe someone whose workshop you've attended in person and they've helped your body, or someone who's given you an insight into something, and just spend some time writing to that person and talk about what kinds of changes you've been experiencing, and just be as that. Do you see how much lower stress that is for writing for you? Like, oh, I feel like you just saying in your mind's eye, like, I got that.
Sorry, I didn't understand.
Do you think you would be able to write a letter to someone to thank them for something?
Oh, it's incredible because I don't understand. I think my brain is, wow.
What's your...
I don't know. We are approaching something very...
Okay, well, thank you for being right in the middle of the spotlight here, Marie. You can go ahead and mute again and just be enjoying of everything for now. I'll pull off of like picking on you so hard. Thank you so much for being willing, and thank you. Kate, did you want to add to that a little bit? I see the little hand raised. Maybe that's just, she says, love that, nice. Wow. I'm always looking for what can I contribute to healing something or someone. So I'm always asking the question of what could be healed today. And one of the things that I set the intention for this class, and we just have about 15 more minutes, one of the things I really set the intention of today was to heal some of the childhood criticisms that so often happen when people learn how to write. So I'm going to just take a little bit through that sort of in a more overall fashion. I won't pull any of you guys out to to be like in front of everyone when I'm doing this. So let's go ahead and just look at your self ages like 0 to 6. So this is maybe when you first started picking up a pencil, when you first maybe started using crayons. And let's just look at the energy in your hands on the pages if you started writing when you were like under age 6. And just kind of give that whole era of 0 to 6 a little bit of like kindness. And let's just ask some kindness to go between the hand, the page, and the writing instrument, whether that was a crayon or a pencil or a pen, or maybe my mom used to give us paint and we would hand finger paint. And did you get to paint, or did you do anything with your hands where you got to express yourself on paper and on actual paper? And let's just see us all doing that. Very nice. Whew. And just now, just give yourself some extra love, extra attention, extra joy, going from your heart space to your hand space. And if you give a message to your 0 to 6-year-old self, I'll just kind of be quiet for a sec and let you give yourself a message to that little baby being. And I sort of got shown that I was supposed to share my 0 to 6. And I have to tell you, both my parents were writers. And there was so much celebration at 3 when I started reading. And they had these little sand letters. My mom made letters out of sandpaper. And then we would go to the beach, because I was born in California, and we would make letters in the sand, and then we would squish them. So we would write all this stuff, and then we would like kick it with our heels and erase it in the sand. And I have all these early memories of writing in the sand and then squishing it so that it was all fun. It was just joyous. I'm just going to share that little moment of joy with you because there was a lot of excitement in my family for me when I began to write. And so I'll just share that memory with you. It's really precious. Some people now 6 to 12, just kind of look 6 to 12. We'll just do a few minutes at some of these different critical times and just send love to your 6 to 12-year-old self. And a lot of times this is when you began to formulate ideas, 3rd, 4th, 5th grade in the US. I'm not sure all the different grades of the different places in the country or the world. But from age 6 to about 12, 12, those years, there's a lot of attempt to get it right, So important that you get it right. You want to spell right. You want to write right. You don't want to cursive wrong. You start learning cursive, maybe if you're young like me, old like me. Go ahead and let go of any need to get anything right. Oh. Go ahead and just let go of any need. And send your 6 to 12-year-old self some messages. See if your 6 to 12-year-old self has anything that it needs to tell you. Whew. Thank you. Okay, and we're going to jump ahead now. I'm going to go 12 to 17, I think. 12 to 17. So this is your teenage years. You're in high school, junior high. You're maybe in private school. Maybe you're working already. Some of you took on at this time in your life work or careers or needing to make money. Anything that was frivolous started, maybe not for everybody, just anybody who would like to heal any of these things that are showing up, go ahead and ask it to be healed. Any place where you weren't allowed to just create and explore and express, go ahead and send that 12 to 18-year-old some really kind energy as they're beginning to find themselves. I just kind of got shown this is a time when a lot of people try to make sense of reality. And it doesn't make sense, as you all know. As we struggle to make sense of everything fitting, of everything working, of everything being in its box, we can lose track of that freedom to just create for creation's sake, that writing for writing's sake, that exploring for exploration's sake, painting for painting's sake, painting to express color, poems just because, songs just because. And just invite back in anything you gave up during those years, in your late teens. Anything you gave up to be normal, responsible, conformative, fitting, working, anything you gave up of yourself, can you invite that back to yourself now? And just invite it back. And again, if nothing's showing up for you, that's okay. If something's showing up for you, that's okay too. So just any place you need to heal from 12 to 18, just go ahead. There you go. Thank you. It's beautiful. Take a deep breath. Very nice. I think that's about all we're going to take on today in the call. Just healing childhood to 18 for our writing. So thank you all for coming. I actually, does anyone have anything at this point you'd like to share from that exercise?
Can you hear me?
Uh-huh.
Rhonda. Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, a lot of stuff came up with the childhood clearings, and there's a lot of layers to that you don't even realize how that affects you today when you're in your 50s.
Thank you, right?
So yeah, thank you for that. Really. So yeah, that really, that little child inside still has some of those fears and worries about, not being able to do the cursive. And, I don't even write that way anymore. And yet that's still a part of my, psyche. And so thank you for that. That, I really appreciate those clearings. So,
yeah, I was on a podcast call this morning, Smelly Melly. No, Happy Melly. I don't know where I came up with that. It's Happy Melly. I think it's in Australia or someplace. But she interviewed me, and I cleared something where I had always made a certain body style right, and it would never be my body style because of my own genetic, ethnic, whatever heritage is a little different than the body style I'd made right. And so basically I'd set up where I could never be right. And it was funny also getting into my 50s and finding out that being my body style is okay, right? And stop making me wrong for being me. And I don't know how much of that is in our writing as well, but if we've ever made other people better than ourselves, it's basically condemns us to not creating. It making other people more important condemns us to not allowing ourselves to create. It's a recipe for that. So any place that anyone has ever let anyone else be more important than you, than your own gifts and your own contributions, anytime you've ever made anyone else better than you, bigger than you, brighter than you, different than you, happier than you, sexier than you, more done than you, more correct than you, let's just collectively let go of that right now.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's awesome. I felt good.
Yeah.
Whew. I love it. One message that Kate had for Marie was, you could also write a letter to yourself. So that's from Kate. Excuse me. So I'd like to talk about my writing club for a minute. Is that okay, guys?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I'm going to see if I can share my screen. I don't know if this will work for all of you. See, Kate, I have my dolphins preparing for summer. So this, again, I was teaching earlier this year with many of you. And what we looked at was, wouldn't it be fun if, there we go. If we could have a space for writing that wasn't critical. And so as a result of that exploration, I came up with a writing club. And so in this writing club, we'll be doing one call every month. And it will be like this one. Everyone can explore a little bit deeper how to clear up what's stopping you from writing. We'll help each other if we're doing books or projects. You can focus on that in your joining of this club. Every week we'll be doing a home play. So the very first, the second email you'll get, I've already come up with a really interesting question for you to write about. And then everyone will be in a Facebook group that we can support each other. And, you know, it was funny, I was mentioning that I was doing this club, and a couple people said, well, is that for critical, like we would criticize each other's work? Like they immediately thought a writing club was where I would criticize everyone's work. And I went, no. Like this is the opposite of that. So if you'd like to join today, we're also going to share with you the book, The Power of Releasing Judgment, because much of what can happen to stop us from writing is in judging oneself, and judging oneself as less than. And so the Power of Releasing Judgment book will be given to you when you join, and it's $30 a month. So do you have any questions about the writing club? Jessica, why don't you ask me a question if you're still here?
I'm here. I think maybe my question would be for the group. What would you guys like to see out of a writing club?
Ooh, good one. Yeah, and you can type in the chat if you don't feel like chatting out loud, that's okay. Yeah, what would be fun for you to have in a writing club? I like that question. I started thinking about it too, like what would be super fun? Because immediately there's just something about writing that still starts feeling like work, you know? it's like, whew, like, okay, what's the inspiration for it to be inspirational? You know? Yeah, and that's what Becky just wrote, inspiration to write. So I love that. So thank you. So we'll definitely add that to the club. And I'd love it if all of you were to join my club. It'd be so much fun. There's also an annual membership level that's less than $30 a month if that's easier for you. It's all on happypublishingclub.com. I'll write that here. And although when I talked to the club, it told me to change it to Erica's Writing Club. So I had already created it, and I had to go in and change it because it told me it wanted to be called Erica's Writing Club, and that's why I changed it, because it talked to me. And for some of you who are going to get started and finish your books, I did want to just say that you can begin to chat with your book, and you can ask it what it requires from you. You can ask it where it would like to be written. Sometimes you need to move your location to be in a place that's more quiet or peaceful. You can ask your book. One thing I like to do is start visioning the cover. And I vision the cover way before I'm done writing a book. And that helps get me all my writing juices moving, if that makes sense. Nice. So thank you all for coming. I so appreciate it.
Are they going to be able to read each other's work? I think that's what Jonda was asking.
To the degree that people post and feel like sharing in the Facebook group, those readings will be shared. No one is going to be required to share, and everyone who chooses to share can share, and everyone in the club will be encouraged to support each other and just kind of ask questions of each other, contribute to each other. The overarching theme is really kindness. So anything that isn't kindness, and I'm going to be a little bit crazy about the kindness on the Facebook page. So anyone who wants to practice like tough love, they don't have to do that there. They can go do that. This isn't going to be about that. And I know some people like to ask really difficult questions, and that's okay too. However, because the intention of the club is to heal from childhood wounds or any wounds that keep us from expressing ourselves, we're going to treat it like it's a brand new garden. And that spirit of that is very nourishing. And so it's going to be a place that's very nourishing for people to write. Yeah. I think, also I might bring in guests. I think I'll bring in guest writers. I'll bring in guest writers to play with people once a month or so to answer questions and be on calls like this, because it's always fun to learn from different people when you're asking to change something. So awesome. Yeah. So glad you guys all came today. Thank you for showing up. Thank you all for participating. I'm really blessed to have had you all on the call. So
Thank you, Erica. Hugs and kisses to you.
thanks, everybody. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.